The Nancy Guthrie case keeps getting stranger and stranger and more perplexing. We have so much to go over, but first and foremost, there is a critical deadline per the ransom notes that is happening today at 5 p.m. Now, I have gone back and forth about these ransom notes. Do I think that these are actually the abductors? Do I think that it's just a hoax and that the FBI is scripting these scripts and videos for the Guthrie family to record while they work on the real abductor? I mean, maybe. Again, I go back and forth and I'll tell you why. But first, let's talk about what Harvey Levin disclosed in the most recent episode of Two Angry Men. It's right here on the Los Angeles Magazine YouTube page. If you haven't heard that yet, you should run, not walk, to listen to that episode as well. But Harvey discloses something very interesting, which gave me pause again on maybe, just maybe, these ransom notes are real and are connected to Nancy's abduction. So he makes it a point to say that in the TMZ ransom note, and by the way, all of the notes are different. There were notes or emails sent to two other local Arizona stations. And the note that they sent to TMZ, totally separate. And he said there is mention of Nancy's Apple Watch in this letter and something about the Apple Watch that only the abductor would know. Now, is it possible that somebody saw through the house after the fact because the note didn't come in until 3 days later through these floodlights? Sure, maybe. But Harvey also said something interesting as well. And I don't think this necessarily has anything to do with whether the ransom letters are real or not. But he believes that the sequencing of these letters, he believes that the two affiliate stations in Arizona were sent these letters first. And they didn't do anything with them. They didn't report on them. They gave them to the police, but they essentially just sat on them. And the captors, or whoever sent these, they wanted attention. They wanted everyone to know who was in control. So when they weren't getting the attention they wanted, who did they send to? TMZ. So that is not confirmed, but that is what Harvey believes based on everything he knows. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, let's start with some things that have happened over the weekend. I have quite a few friends on the ground in Arizona. So they have given me some really wonderful information. And a lot of you guys have probably seen it posted on social media as well. But hopefully I can put it all together for you right here and also just bring some things up that I am questioning and that I am wondering. So over the weekend, and it started Friday night, the police and the FBI, they once again sectioned off Nancy Guthrie's home. And they were like, all right, everybody out. We are looking into things now. You need to leave. Okay. That's a problem because the crime scene has already been contaminated. They were letting journalists go up and down the stairs, just a few hours earlier or a few days earlier. I mean, literally, the house is just completely covered with millions of people's DNA at this point. And so I'm like, okay, that's strange, but who knows? So they also recovered a recording device from the roof that they didn't find initially. I mean, I don't know why they would just find this, but they did. This was Friday going into Saturday. And then on Sunday, it was very, very chilling. They uncovered a manhole cover in Nancy's backyard. And so that was, that gave me chills. But on Saturday evening, and I will play the video in just a moment, Savannah and her sister and her brother, they released a third video addressing the kidnappers. And this had a very different vibe to it. Very, very different. And, I go back and forth. I actually have people that I respect very much in this industry who have said, no, I firmly believe that Nancy is alive. Sadly, I don't, based on this video and based on the fact that she's 84. They said that, she needed this medication. And they said that she, it could be fatal like 2 days after she disappeared if she didn't have this medication. So I'm like, okay, this clearly is worse and worse every single day that goes by. But first, let me play the video, and then you can see what I'm saying. See for yourself. And a lot of you most likely have seen this already. But I think it's important to, to continue to play it because you catch something new every single time that you watch it. And I know
We received your.
Oh, here we go. All right.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Okay. A couple things here. I mean, the tone completely different from the last video. The last video, they were begging, there were tears. I mean, it seemed like in the first video, they were spiraling out of control just a bit. They felt, they felt trapped. They felt very, very emotional. And here, it seems like they have more information. Now, again, people that I respect have said, oh, well, I think that they saw a proof of life shot of their mother. And that is why they are matter of fact saying, we want her back. We will pay, kind of like you promised. That's that. I personally think that maybe they know that she's possibly gone at this point. And I'm sorry to say it. I feel horrible saying that, but they didn't ask for proof of life. They did not. And I felt like the way that she said, this is valuable to us. This is valuable, not she, this, meaning the act of getting her back, perhaps. And she also said, this is the only way we will be at peace. Nothing like, having her back will make us whole. There's nothing like that. And I go back to, yes, maybe the FBI scripted this. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this, but somebody on the internet put together a scene from Silence of the Lambs and the first video of Savannah Guthrie where she's talking about her mother. And there's a line, and it's the same line from Silence of the Lambs. And she says, the line is, talk to her and you'll see. And it's so weird. And that's when I'm like, okay, the FBI is definitely scripting these videos. And yeah. So Sunday, again, a search is now, and again, this was actually Saturday night into Sunday. A search conducted at Annie Guthrie's home was occurring. And Annie Guthrie is Savannah's sister, who I'd say the spotlight has kind of been on her a lot since Ashley Banfield reported that Annie's husband was a prime suspect for law enforcement. And she reported this from her source in the FBI. And she reported this days ago. So look, again, I have said, I think she's probably right. Do I think that she should have reported it so early? Probably not. But I mean, she could be onto something. And just the other day, they had sent teams over to search Annie Guthrie's house with her husband, Tommaso. I'm so bad, you guys. He has an Italian name. But during these investigations, it's all hands on deck. Like all agencies can help out, right? So I guess it didn't concern a lot of people. It kind of concerned me when somebody showed up with the Internet Crimes Against Children shirt at their house with like Cellbrite info and whatnot. I was like, okay, that's weird. Again, it could be all hands on deck, or is it something more sinister? I don't know. And additionally, Ashley Banfield and Megyn Kelly were speaking on Megyn's podcast about one of the press conferences that the police gave this week, where they talked about a car being towed from Nancy's home and how, they didn't discuss what car this was. They just said, okay, it's protocol, like nobody get upset, whatever. And it's interesting because they are being elusive. Also, the doorbell. Now there is speculation that the perps possibly ripped it off to test to see if the police were going to come. And And I guess that was the whole, like, that's why, you know, it shows that 41 minutes after they ripped off, or this doorbell came off, the doorbell cam came off, 41 minutes later is when her pacemaker was disconnected. So I'm like, okay, so what? What if the police did come? Then what? Were they just hiding out in the house? I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Also, one of the neighbors spoke to USA Today and indicated that in this neighborhood, it is pitch black at night. You cannot see anything. So if a car pulls up, if someone's out in the front lawn, I mean, you're not seeing anything. So I'm trying to think, did I miss anything exactly? I think, again, I'm just going back and forth, and sorry, a news outlet, a local news outlet did report the money demand that they got, which was it said 6 million with a dollar sign, but I'm under the impression that the captors want Bitcoin because Bitcoin is untraceable. And there was also it's weird, a few days before there was some kind of Bitcoin scandal that was going on over in Arizona, which is like, okay, that's interesting. I don't know if it's connected, but that's what sort of gave me the idea that possibly somebody saw what was going on and decided to take advantage here. And so that was part of my back and forth, like, okay, perhaps police know, you know, that the email stuff is fake, the ransom is fake, and they've got some kind of cybersecurity team working on that while they go out and figure out exactly what happened to Nancy, because it has nothing to do with that whatsoever. I don't know. I just know that this family, the Guthrie family, is being emotionally tortured, email after email, day after day, that they don't have their mother back. So, guys, I will keep you all posted as best I can. Oh, and the last thing I want to bring up is something really crazy that Steve Fisher actually brought up the other day. And I find it to be so interesting, but also, again, strange. When Nancy Guthrie first went missing, it was reported that she didn't show up to church. And the fact that she didn't show up to church, that rung alarms for people, I guess. Well, it turns out that Nancy hasn't been to church since before COVID. She actually attends church online on a Zoom. And Steve looked into this, and you can't tell when someone signs on to Zoom or whatever the program it is that they use to view this church. So I don't think, it might not have been Zoom. Let me see what he said. He said, oh yeah, it's not a Zoom. Sorry. It's not a Zoom where you can see other participants. So yeah, that's weird. And then apparently Savannah made a call to the governor before, you know, it was announced that her mom was kidnapped. I'm having a time. But all I'm going to say is law enforcement, FBI, they have an idea what's going on, and maybe the public will soon, and maybe, hopefully, Nancy will be brought home to her family. But anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, for listening. I will keep you up to date with everything I know right here on Los Angeles Magazine Videos. This is our pop culture, scandal, and crime news podcast.